Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. St. Elizabeth Police probing discovery of body. The St. Elizabeth Police are probing the discovery of a body that was discovered yesterday morning. Skeletal remains were found in a burnt-out car in Coca District. Reports are that, sometime early in the morning, a passerby saw the burnt-out vehicle and summoned the police. On their arrival, the remains were found inside the car. Police say the identity has not yet been ascertained. The remains were moved to the morgue pending further investigations. Woman's decomposing body found in Black River. The decomposing body of a woman was found in Barton District in St. Elizabeth on Tuesday. The woman, who was up to press time, was still unidentified, was found in a section of the Black River that runs through the community, the police said. Initial investigations carried out by detectives have uncovered that the now deceased was not recognized as being from the community. She was reportedly seen in the district on Saturday in the same area where her body was found, in the company of a man who was also not from the community. It was reported that after 5 p.m., residents saw the body and called the police. Lawmen who arrived on the scene said the woman appeared to be in her late 30s to early 40s. The police said she was lying face down in the water, clad in a black brassiere, pink underwear and khaki-looking pants. The body had what appeared to be a rose tattoo on the right ankle. The body was removed from the water with the assistance of the Santa Cruz Fire Department. Police said no obvious mark of violence was observed on the body. The body was taken to the morgue for a post-mortem examination. Couple escape gun attack, house set on fire. A couple narrowly escaped death when they were attacked by gunmen who reportedly set their dwelling on fire in Old Green Island, Hanover, Wednesday morning. Police reported that after 1:50 a.m., a man and his girlfriend were at home when he heard strange sounds outside. The man armed himself with a machete, the police said, and was proceeding to the front door when it was suddenly kicked open and one of the several gunmen opened fire at him. The man and his girlfriend, who was in another room, ran from the house without being injured. It was later discovered that the culprits attempted to burn the building by setting it on fire, but the blaze was extinguished by residents. Police said they found 3 spent shells while processing the scene. No motive has been established for the attack. Businessman killed at exotic nightclub in Negril. A businessman was shot dead at an exotic club in Negril, Westmoreland on Wednesday morning. Dead is 40-year-old O'Neill Smith, otherwise called San, of Good Hope District in the parish. Reports from the police are that Smith was purchasing food at a cook shop at the Scrub-a-Dub nightclub shortly after 4 a.m. when he was confronted by gunmen who opened fire, hitting him. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Smith was seen lying face down with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his head and upper body. He was assisted to the Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigations are ongoing. Man shot while checking out cars. Police have launched a manhunt for the occupants of a white motor car who shot and injured a man in Lance Bay in Lucy, Hanover, Tuesday night. Police reports that the man saw the vehicle and went to check it out when he was shot by one of the occupants. It was reported that around 9:15 p.m., the 31-year-old was at a shop in the community talking with other persons when he saw a white Toyota Axia drove up. The police said the man went to look at the car and check it out when one of the occupants exited with a firearm and opened fire at him before the vehicle sped off. The man reportedly ran and was later discovered suffering from a gunshot wound to the ankle. He was assisted to hospital, where he was treated and admitted in stable condition. Satin struggles to recruit workers for population census despite doubling wages. The inability of the Static Institute of Jamaica Satin to recruit the required number of census takers will result in a further expansion of the census exercise. The 15th Population and Housing Census was expected to be completed last December, following commencement in September last year. However, several challenges, including administrative issues, caused the deadline to be extended to March 31, which will not be met. The agency has only been able to recruit about 4,000 of the targeted 7,000 field workers at any time, with some leaving the job. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said Satin has doubled the compensation for workers. At yesterday's meeting of the Standing Finance Committee, opposition spokesperson on finance Julian Robinson queried why there has been such a high number turnover. Dr. Clark admitted that Sutton is facing challenges with the census.
With the 4,000 that have been enrolled at a point in time, there has been a fair degree of turnover in that people who have been trained have moved on. The nature of the challenge has to do with the tightness in the labor market and the availability of persons to fill that role. We have since responded with a significant upward adjustment in the fees to census takers to try and compete in the labor market for the persons that are needed. But in addition to that, Sutton has had to innovate several weeks ago to introduce additional modalities of data collection, including electronic and other means. The tightness in the labor market is a real issue that, as a country, we're going to have to address.
Meantime, Director General of Sutton, Carol Coy, said the administrative issues have been addressed. She further explained that issues faced by Sutton in recruiting and keeping the workers. Ms. Coy added that the new mode of data collection, implemented recently, will be assessed this week before a projected date is set for the completion of the process.
What we also have to bear in mind, because you are trained, it does not necessarily mean we'll employ you, because there's an assessment and there are persons who have been trained but they have not reached that level, because for the census you have to know what the concepts are, etc., to move in. And so the issue also is that some persons, when they go in the field, the difficulty, it's not an easy job. Going from home to home, persons are not responding, and some persons cannot deal with that. And so you will have persons, once they have started and they have seen what is required, that they would also have dropped out of the system.
So the deadline you had originally proposed, which was the end of the financial year, have you now revised that, and what is the revised time frame?
We have not yet set a revised time frame. I know we will not meet that, given where we are, but as the minister said, we have put in place other modalities, other modes of data collection, so that we can move the process much faster using the current numbers that we have. And so at the end of this week into next week, we will have a better idea as to what we are doing. We're also thinking of using the web in order to get persons, especially in areas where persons will not allow persons to access their buildings or they won't come out. And so what we want to see is what the take-up of that will be before we will make that projection. There's still the face-to-face, but previously it was one enumerator to what we call enumeration district. What we have done is created what we call sweep teams. So these are persons who are very efficient, they are experienced, and we carry a group into what we call an enumeration district. And so in about a weekend, 2 weekends, because it's mainly weekends that persons are at home, you will complete what we call an enumeration district. There's a fear factor, because security is an issue in certain areas. So when we carry in a team, we hope that we'll be able to get to those persons much better than when you send one census taker into an enumeration district.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.